In the heart of a quiet, rain-dappled suburb, nestled between weeping willows and rows of parked cars glistening beneath street lamps, there stood a small, sturdy brick house, a safe harbour in the night. Within its warmly lit walls, 12-year-old Theo sat at his desk, tracing drops of rain racing down his window. The room was aglow with the faint flicker of a desk lamp, casting long, reassuring shadows on his detective posters and old baseball trophies. Everything was calm. Everything was familiar. But just as he turned a page of his casebook, a notebook worn soft by anxious fingers, his little sister June's voice crept through the wall. A quiver threaded her words. "Theo, did you hear that sound? By the porch?" Theo's heart fluttered. June's room was right next to his. Her comfort was as much his responsibility as his own. Setting his notebook aside, he listened. Outside, beneath the grandfather clock's steady tick, a muffled clink echoed from the porch. Not ominous, just curious. Theo's detective instincts tingled. Maybe, he thought with a smile, it was the start of a tiny, nighttime mystery. Tonight, he would be courageous, not just for June, but for himself. Gathering his favorite flashlight and June's small hand, the siblings padded quietly toward the door, the promise of adventure kindling a gentle fire in Theo's belly. Stepping into the hallway, Theo tiptoed past the old grandfather clock. June's hand was cool in his, but she squeezed tightly, her trust anchoring him. They moved as a pair of silent sleuths. The house creaked gently as the rain tapped at the roof, its soothing rhythm lulling away any real fear. The quiet mystery felt manageable, as if every shadow and sound was part of some great, soft-hearted play written just for them. In the foyer, Theo paused to slip on a faded raincoat. He offered June her polka-dot one, the hood too large for her small head. With boots squishing on the rug, they pressed their faces to the cool, misted glass of the front door. A faint glimmer caught the corner of Theo's eye, a flicker of silver at the edge of the porch light, moving like a fish darting in shallow water. He took a steadying breath, lifted his chin, and opened the door with a hushed promise. "We will be careful, and we will be brave." Outside, the world was quiet except for the tap of rain and the distant hum of tires on wet asphalt. The air smelled of wet earth and lilies. Side by side, they stepped onto the slick wooden porch and beheld a wondrous scene. Droplets shimmered on every surface, transforming their familiar street into a world of glassy jewels. The glimmering object was nestled near the mailbox, a small, intricate key shining beneath an overhanging branch. It flickered invitingly, just beyond reach. Theo knelt close, steadying June with a gentle arm. The silver key gleamed with delicate filigree, its bow etched with feathered wings. Together, they turned it in their hands, cool and unexpectedly heavy. What could it open? They considered quietly, voices hushed as if not to disturb the blue-black peace of the rain. The siblings surveyed the porch, the faded garden gate, the rust-flecked mailbox, the little toy chest long since locked and forgotten. The night enveloped them in a cocoon of soft possibility. A distant cat meowed from across the street. A neighbour's TV flickered behind gauzy curtains. Nothing felt frightening. It all felt like a secret, shared only by those awake at the gentle hour between dreams. June suggested they try the key on the mailbox. The lock clicked open easily, revealing only yesterday's junk mail and a scent of damp envelopes. With a shrug and quiet laughter, Theo led her to the garden gate. The key turned easily there too, and the latch released with a sigh. Past the gate, A little stone path wound through luminous puddles to their backyard, transformed by night into a watercolor of shadows and rainbows. Their old toy chest sat under the eaves, untouched for years. As they approached, fireflies blinked in the damp dusk like reminders from forgotten summers. June's eyes widened as Theo fitted the key into the rusty lock of the toy chest, a lock untouched since their father had tucked away his childhood treasures years before. The key fit perfectly. With a gentle turn, the latch released. The lid creaked open, exhaling a whiff of cedar and memory. Inside, an old camera, a faded baseball mitt, marbles polished smooth by time, and a yellowed envelope. Theo held the letter up to the porch light, careful not to let the rain smudge the ink. On the envelope was a single word, together. Hesitant but excited, the siblings broke the brittle seal and found a note addressed simply to future detectives. Their father's gentle handwriting filled the page. He encouraged them to be bold, to look out for each other, to remember that comfort and courage often walk hand in hand. He reminded them that bravery was not about hiding fear or pain, but about sharing the journey. At the end, a quiet secret, a map of the yard's hidden corners, marked with X's where lost marbles, toy cars, and little joys waited to be rediscovered. June squeezed Theo's arm. He made a treasure hunt for us. Beneath the rain, shielding the thinning paper, Theo and June unfolded the little hand-drawn map. Each X glimmered with promise. As they tiptoed around puddles, searching beneath ferns, under flat stones, and at the base of the big elm, they discovered treasures: a glass marble, the color of the stormy sky, a battered matchbox car caked with silver mud, a tiny painted figurine. With each find, laughter bubbled up, soft and cleansing. They worked as a team. June's keen eyes spotted what Theos overlooked, and Theos' memory for their fathers. Stories filled the night with reassurance. New stories stacked gently atop old ones. In a quiet nook by the fence, June unearthed a small bell. Its chime was so delicate, it sounded like rain on window panes. For a moment, everything seemed to pause. The world felt smaller, gentler. They sat shoulder to shoulder, treasures cradled in their raincoats, listening to each other breathe. Above, the rain faded to a mist. Streetlights glistened on the wet road. The neighborhood, usually so still, felt quietly alive with secrets, none of them frightening. Everyone, a thread woven safely into the soft, endless tapestry of the night. Theo slipped the map and treasures into his pocket, and together, arm in arm, he and June walked the glowing path back toward their house. The world outside no longer felt so wild. Their journey had peeled back its shadows, revealing instead layers of comfort, adventure, and love. They wiped their boots quietly on the mat and hung their coats to dry, the silver key now looped around June's neck as a talisman. In the warmth of the hallway, June drowsed against Theos' shoulder. He guided her gently to her room, tucked her under her favorite blanket, and set the treasures, a glass marble, a bell, a little car, on her nightstand. "I am glad you heard the sound," said Theo in a hush. June's eyes flickered, her voice a whisper. It is easier to be brave when you are not alone. Back in his own room, Theo curled into bed, the rain pattering quieter now. The house, bathed in the glow of a single lamp, felt like a sanctuary. Sleep found both siblings quickly, their journey folding into gentle dreams. And outside, on the porch, the silver key glimmered in the last drops of rain, a small reminder that the world holds its soft mysteries best when shared.